Hello, a reflection now for Maundy Thursday. On this day each year, we remember Jesus gathering together with his friends to celebrate the Passover. But also it was an opportunity for Jesus to say goodbye to them before he went to his death. At a gathering like that, a servant, the most lowly servant of all, would usually wash the feet of those who were arriving. Jesus took on that role himself, reminding his disciples then, and us today, of God's upside-down way of doing things. The king taking on the role of the lowest servant. Having washed their feet, Jesus then gave some instructions to those who were there with him. We read these in John's Gospel. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love one for another. Some of his final words to his followers were telling them how important love is, and that others will look to see how good a job they do at showing love. The love that Jesus is talking about, the love he demonstrates himself in the most powerful of ways, is sacrificial love, the love that puts others first. At this difficult time, we are seeing some amazing demonstrations of sacrificial love in action. The story of an elderly woman who told doctors not to put her on a ventilator, as she had lived a long and good life, and to save the ventilator instead for a younger person who would need it. A teenager giving the loaf of bread he's just bought to an old man who arrives at the shop to discover there's no more bread left. NHS workers coming out of a peaceful retirement to help treat those who are ill back on the front lines. There are many amongst us who are heading out to the front line each day, key workers in many different roles, putting themselves at increased risk to serve others. Sacrificial love in action. For many of us, probably the most important sacrifice we can make at the moment is staying at home. In doing so, we reduce the risk not only to ourselves and our immediate family members, but also to unknown numbers of others. By staying at home, we reduce the spread of the virus. By staying at home, we are saving lives. Sacrificial love in action. But how can we serve right now in other ways, especially when lots of the ways we normally would are out of the question? We can still be recognised by others for our love. We can still reflect the love of Jesus into the world at a time when his love is needed the most. I know so much is already being done, but the world can always use a little bit more love. Can we phone or write to someone we know who is lonely or might be struggling? When someone asks for something on the village Facebook page, could it be one of us who shares the extra that we have? If you're still able to get out to the shops, could you sacrifice your delivery slot with a supermarket so that someone more vulnerable can use it? Could we add items of shopping to our shops for a neighbour, even if it means we have less for ourselves? If we have enough money right now, could we donate to charities that are struggling to keep going without their usual fundraisers? Each of us is different and we all have different circumstances. Loving at this time will look very different for each one of us. Those are just a few ideas. Why not spend some time over the next few days thinking and praying about how you can show and share love at this time? What is God inspiring you to do? Who is God inspiring you to reach out to while staying at home, of course? One thing we can all do is to pray. Pray for those we know. Pray for the key workers. Pray for those unable to work and struggling financially. Pray for those who are scared. Pray for those who are leading. Pray for those who are seeking treatments and vaccines. Just as the world needs more sacrificial love right now, it also needs more prayer. As we head into a very different Easter weekend, let's explore new and very different ways of living out our faith, sharing God's love in new and very different ways. May God bless us all this Easter weekend.